Sonelius, you and I have had dozens of conversations in the last several months around diversity, equity, and belonging. And we had one of the conversations sticks out in my mind in particular, and that involves the word ally, as in LGBT and allies and so on. And you challenged me in my use of that word and allies and said that there's another option that is better, particularly as we look at diversity and equity and belonging. Mm-hmm. Would you speak more to that?
Sure. And yes, I've loved our conversations we've had over the past month. Many, as you know, have been heavy. We found ourselves exhausted coming into the conversation, seeking to find support and energy because we're besties and brothers, and often find ourselves really deep in trying to find meaning and purpose in the work that we do in the context of what's really going on in the world. And so I appreciate, those conversations and this opportunity to share some more information and to hopefully bring some amplification around the word and use of ally. And the word that I brought to your attention is accomplice. Yeah. And I know that when we use the word accomplice, that connotates a certain negativity. It's associated with crime or embezzlement or whatever, some kind of fraudulent word might use. But if we look at what the active meaning of accomplice really means, then I think we can begin to understand why there is sort of a shift in the narrative around how one can enter in the space of being able to create change or to try to create transformation in this space. Ally, as we've come to understand and appreciate and value it, particularly for the LGBT, is one of support. Mm-hmm. I'm showing up. I'm partnering with you in a way that you know that I'm present to you. And that's great. That's great and wonderful.
But that's not enough right now.
That's not enough because with the word ally, there really is no risk.
Yeah.
In being an ally. I'm speaking up. I can even participate and show up at an event. But when you start to think about how you can activate, that relationship, how you can become an active ally, if you will, that means you're going to assume a certain risk. You're going to use your power and privilege to try to go in and help to disrupt the structures that are disempowering or that are holding down others outside of dominant culture. So that is the use. That's how using the word accomplice can be effective, because you're assuming a certain risk, because you're stepping out, you're challenging. And that's what we need to see, particularly when it comes to the issues of Black Lives Matter, when it comes to the issues surrounding the many of the challenges facing our BIPOC community, Black, Indigenous, and people of color community. So that's the story behind, the use of accomplice, to take ourselves from ally passively supporting and activating ourselves to do more.
How does a course leader become a better accomplice?
That's going to require internal work and understanding, self-evaluation to say, what's my purpose? What's the core organization's purpose? And as we've said, these statements, most organizations, most choruses have a mission statement. We want to change the world through song. What does that mean to you? And then take the steps to be actively engaged in creating a dynamic where everyone feels a part of the organization. You can start out with ally, but you gotta move through that paradigm to really enact, and that's what the whole thing is about, civil rights and the fight for belonging. Because if you will, what are you willing to give up from your personal space so that others are there and we all share in that space of belonging?
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. That is what the New Harmony Project is about, helping our chorus leaders become accomplices so that all of their singing members find a safe place within the chorus. Thanks for being here.